Xin chào bạn. Hey everyone, my name is Vin Win, but I go by Jason. I am in my last semester here at UH. I am a history major and an education minor. I hope to teach in high school after I graduate and eventually get my PhD and become a professor, travel, do research. That's my dream. I was born in Saigon, Vietnam, and moved to the United States when I was about a year old. My family came to America with little to their name in hopes of finding a better life for me and my siblings, and of course for themselves. Until the age of about 5, my primary language was Vietnamese, which I learned from my mom, grandma, and other relatives. During this time, I learned what little English I could by watching mainly American television. Vietnamese is a tonal language, meaning that a change in tone when pronouncing one word can completely change the meaning of that word. As you can see on this chart, these words are all spelled the same, but because they're accent marking, it changes the meaning of that word. For example, the first word is pronounced ma, meaning ghost. The second word is pronounced ma, meaning but. The deeper tone in the letter A gives the word a new meaning. The fourth word on this list is pronounced ma, and it means grave. The accent marking on top can be difficult to understand because each time you use that accent, it sounds like a question almost. I truly believe that Vietnamese is one of the tougher languages to speak or understand because of the difficulty in understanding tone. But with practice, anyone can learn in time. I've moved around a lot since coming to America, but I still consider San Jose, California my hometown. There I lived for 13 of my first 14 years, and there is where I learned to make English my primary language. I began to formally learn English in kindergarten, utilizing the basic methodology of learning the English alphabet and then writing and rewriting until it became a mastery skill. As I got older, the English lessons went from learning basic sentences to advanced vocabulary and writing paragraphs. Spending years in schools where English is the only language spoken made my English very strong, but in a way hurt my Vietnamese since I didn't attend any school or classes that taught Vietnamese. From kindergarten until about the 7th grade, my English improved dramatically with the help of my teachers, friends, the growth of computers, and American TV. My Vietnamese, however, never got the opportunity to improve. One reason for that was the belief of mastering the English language above all else to allow for better economic opportunities. My family truly believed this because they could not speak English and they had struggled when I was younger. My Vietnamese was only used at home with my close relatives, and I never read in Vietnamese or learned to read in Vietnamese, which left little room for growth or desire for growth, really. My Vietnamese was so bad that I was embarrassed to use it. I'm not gonna lie. Instead, my sisters and I mixed English and Vietnamese, hoping our relatives would understand what we meant when we were speaking. By the time I was in my teens, my family wanted to reintroduce me to Vietnamese by enrolling me in weekend classes. But at this time, I was so disinterested, I learned next to nothing while in those courses. I think I was disinterested because I felt a little ashamed not knowing Vietnamese as well as I should have. Additionally, Vietnamese was not a language that other kids at my school were speaking, making it uncool. Although this sounds like a childish statement, I think that it did a lot to make me not want to really connect with my roots. As I got older, life eventually brought me to live in Alief, Houston, Texas, where I began to think about my future and what I planned on doing. I finished high school in Houston, and after I graduated, I decided to join the military to help pay for school. In my 5 years in the Army, I met people of many nationalities and gained skills that cannot be taught in the real world. My time in the service also made me want to learn more about my Vietnamese heritage. I started to understand the value of knowing a second language, and so when I finished my time in the service, I enrolled in Vietnamese courses here at UH to help jumpstart my Vietnamese. In these courses, I learned to read, write, and speak Vietnamese properly. My professor used certain strategies, such as insisting we only spoke Vietnamese in class, forcing us daily to read in Vietnamese in front of the class and to utilize it outside of class as often as possible, even if only to read a billboard. I believe this Vietnamese class was instrumental in helping me reconnect with my roots. I now try to speak Vietnamese as often as possible with my friends and my family without worrying about saying things improperly. Finally, I think my teaching philosophy on how second and foreign languages are best learned is through structured phases where students can actively practice reading, writing, and speaking the language to their peers and superiors to get feedback and improve. I would adopt many of the strategies my Vietnamese professor used in helping relearn my native language. Additionally, I believe students who speak English as a second language should be given every opportunity to ask questions on things they do not understand in an English first class. English is one of the toughest languages to learn when you think about all the accents and different slang we use. Thank you for watching my video, and please leave a comment or ask questions if you have any.